Hey guys, Level Cap here with a news update on the next Battlefield game. In addition to the copious amounts of leaks that have been dropping just about every week, we also got some official news from EA. CEO Andrew Wilson confirmed that the game will be launching in the company's 2026 fiscal year, which ends on March 31st. Any date before then could be the game's launch date, and we're expecting either a fall or spring release date to be announced during this year's EA Play event in June. In the meantime, the leaks from the Battlefield Labs playtest have been going rampant, so let's get caught up on what to expect from this next game. Now, not too long ago, we got confirmation based on leaked patch notes for Battlefield Labs that the playtest includes a test range you can load into and test out your weapon customizations. I was hoping for a test range that would be larger, more full-featured, and comparable to Battlefield 4 and then some. However, it sounds like the test range so far is in a very early state and just a gun range style room with a few target practice dummies to shoot at. Due to Battlefield's emphasis on infantry mixing with vehicle combat, it seems like we're going to need a little bit more than this to fully test out weapons against vehicles and even test out the vehicles themselves, so hopefully there is a plan for this down the road. Now, the same person who leaked the test range info also claims that the weapon customization leans more towards the Battlefield 5 style of things, with multiple variants of the same attachment on each slot that offer minor statistical differences but a similar overall benefit. Their example is something like the angled grip could be one of 5 different grip attachments, each one having almost identical stats. We've had a lot of weapon customization and attachment info leaked from prior builds of the playtest, but the info was always on the vague side since it seemed like the system wasn't fully implemented yet. And previously, it sounded like we were going to get a lot of very unique attachments for each slot on a gun. We also had data miners claiming that the attachment system would be budget-based, meaning if a gun has 10 total slots for attachments, you'd have a certain number of points that you could spend and you might run out of points before you fill up all 10 slots. But now it sounds like we're going to have a handful of really impactful attachments, each with a bunch of variety in their own categories. Now, regardless of what type of weapon attachment system we ultimately end up with, I don't think Battlefield needs an overly complex one. It just needs one that's flexible enough to allow for some decent weapon variety so that every time you pick up somebody's dropped gun, you don't exactly know how it's going to perform until you test it out with the attachments. Now, naturally, the main thing I want to avoid and one of the hardest things to do is to try and make a system that offers good benefits to go in different directions rather than just having a set group of the best attachments. If they can properly balance the game, then hopefully in a month's time after launch, everybody won't be running around with the exact same loadout types. Now, one of the coolest lab leaks, which sounds very awkward to say, Battlefield Labs leaks, was a 5-minute long video showcasing the latest playtest map. This map is called Capstone, and it's the map seen in the recently released official screenshot. In the footage, we get a look at sniping, soldier dragging and reviving, some RPGs being fired, a rather impressive bit of small building destruction, and some heads-up display elements, giving us deeper insights into the game's mechanics. This footage looks a lot more polished than previously leaked gameplay. Everything looks nice and smooth with a limited amount of obvious glitches or unfinished assets. The sniping looks very snappy with quick bullet velocities that don't appear to require a lot of lead time. Chest and limb shots didn't outright kill full health players, but headshots appeared to. At one point, the player drags a down teammate in their squad behind cover and revives them. We've known these features would be included for some time now, but this is the clearest example we've seen of soldier dragging. This was a feature originally planned for Battlefield 5, but DICE scrapped it, and we haven't really seen it again until now. In general, though, the footage that we've seen from this leak shows a quicker, less animated out interaction system for faster paced gameplay, but soldier dragging seems to be full featured and potentially more cumbersome or slow in the middle of combat, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And it doesn't appear that you'll be able to drag a soldier around while also shooting or anything like that, but who knows if that'll change. Due to Battlefield's faster-paced combat, dragging never seemed like it would properly fit in with the overall pace of the gameplay, and I'm wondering if this feature is something that's going to show itself better or perform better in some of the other modes that are planned, like say the Royale or Extraction mode, where keeping your squad alive is going to be much more crucial. Now, a bit later in the leaked footage, the player shoots an RPG into a mostly destroyed small building, and a huge chunk of wall gets obliterated, leaving a small sliver of the remaining structure in place. The destruction looks really good and granular, and so far what we've seen of the destruction looks like an impressive upgrade over past games, but it's also mostly shown building facades, so seeing a freestanding structure getting blown apart bit by bit really cements the notion that a core part of the gameplay is going to be built around destruction, and it's not just going to be cosmetic. Now, as for some of the more interesting HUD elements shown off, the leaked gameplay shows that artillery strikes are going to make a comeback. This should be one of the abilities that the Recon class has, so it's tough to say how powerful the artillery strike's going to be, but players in the affected radius seem to get an alert letting them know about incoming fire. We've seen similar mechanics in past games. We also get a confirmation that you'll be able to pick up health from the medic class players directly. This is a very nice quality of life feature that we've had in past games, and I expect it to be a staple moving forward. We also see a kill feed addition for squad wipes. When a player kills the last person in a squad, the kill feed will show the squad's name with a 4X next to it, indicating that they've all been killed. This again may be a more useful feature in some of the squad-based modes like the Extraction or Royale or whatever they're making for us, where in a larger match, wiping a squad doesn't necessarily mean the same thing, as other members of the team could potentially revive that squad and then they could all come back. So unless the mechanics are changing where a squad wipe prevents those players from being revived, this indication might not be as useful during a normal match. Now, a more minor but still interesting new heads-up display element was that pings have a little line connected to the spot that they're placed on. This could be a very nice quality of life update, assuring that spots don't obstruct your vision of the target itself. The final new HUD element is an end-of-round graph that shows a much more broken down display of enemy tickets and how they've bled over time. Basically, this visualizes how fast the enemy team lost their tickets. The graph breaks down each sector as well, so if you're playing around a breakthrough, it'll show you how quickly the enemy team lost their tickets for each individual sector. This info should help players understand which sectors are particularly difficult to take or defend on a given map. And this is something that we've traditionally just had to rely on the feel for, and it's nice that DICE are giving players some more data visualization. I wonder if it'll actually lead into better player knowledge and understanding of game mechanics for overall smarter team gameplay, but we'll have to see. Now, one of my big takeaways from these updated leaks is that the game is just looking a lot more polished, much more cohesive. I'm getting excited to play it. The previous leaks showed a lot, but they also were kind of fragmented or incomplete with tons of unfinished assets, so it was hard to really get a good feel for the game. And just about everything I see so far looks like a positive upgrade for the franchise. It looks like the devs know what they're doing. They're adding good quality of life features, and there's not too much I've seen that's like, I'm not sure about that. So far, so good. I'm excited to see more and more leaks coming out of the Battlefield Labs playtest. I hope you guys enjoyed this update video. If you did, drop me a like, subscribe for more content like it, and up next, check out the latest devlog for the video game that I'm working on in Unreal Engine 5. We've been working on it for a little bit over a year now, and I could not be happier with our spaceship game progress. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.